This is a mysterious disappearance case that has made the whole of Europe tremble. The surveillance cameras at the airport captured a chilling scene. A young man with blonde hair suddenly threw away all his luggage, as if he had lost his soul, looking terrified, as if a group of invisible death gods were chasing behind him. He rushed out of the terminal building like crazy, clumsily but desperately climbed over the 2-meter-high fence, and plunged into the endless sunflower field next to the airport. At that moment, the sunshine was just right, and the sunflowers were in full bloom, but he disappeared like a human and never appeared again. Although there were no pursuers in the surveillance footage, the suffocating fear on his face was truly chilling. Who exactly is he? What is he running away from? Today, we will delve into the mysterious disappearance case known as the Bulgarian Black Hole. The protagonist of the story is named Lars Myton. In 1986, he was born into a warm family near Berlin, Germany. If you have a friend who is particularly warm and always thinks of others, then Lars is that kind of person. He grew up in a peaceful small town in northern Germany, where the land was vast and the population was sparse, and the pace of life was slow. Lars also grew up to be an easygoing and sympathetic sunny boy. He loves life and is a passionate football fan, faithfully supporting the Werder Bremen team. He also loves outdoor activities and is skilled in fishing and diving. In terms of academics and career, Lars is also a standard reliable youth. He did not aim too high, but took one step at a time and became an excellent operator at the Wilhelmshaven power plant. If you ask people around him about their impression of Lars, the answer is surprisingly consistent: filial and responsible. In 2012, when his father suffered a sudden stroke, Lars, as his son, took on the heavy burden of the family without hesitation. Even though his workplace is far away from home, he rushes back every weekend, rain or shine, to take care of his father and help his mother share the pressure. Lars, who is 28 years old, has a stable career and harmonious relationships, and his life is moving forward along a standard track of happiness. No one expected that a seemingly ordinary vacation in early summer 2014 would become the final destination of his life. That summer, in order to relieve the fatigue of long-term work and taking care of his father, Lars decided to go on vacation to the Black Sea coast of Bulgaria with 5 friends. On June 30th, they flew to Varna and stayed at a 4-star hotel near the Gold Coast. A few days ago, time was as beautiful as a dream, with sunshine, beaches, football, and even Lars playing soccer with a group of unfamiliar high school students on the beach. However, the gears of fate began to reverse on the evening of July 3rd. That day was the quarterfinals of the World Cup, between the Netherlands and Costa Rica. Lars and his friends were watching a game in the bar, creating a lively atmosphere. Lars proudly wore his beloved Werder Bremen jersey as usual, exchanging the club flag with others in the bar. This was originally a friendly interaction among fans, but unexpectedly angered a group of high school graduates from Bavaria. Perhaps due to the opposition of football culture or the influence of alcohol, the two sides had an argument. Although the conflict was quickly resolved, the seeds of disharmony have been planted. At 4 o'clock in the morning, Lars and his friends left the bar. Because he didn't want to eat fast food, he decided to walk back to the hotel alone. This short, 1-kilometer road became the beginning of a nightmare. Lars was attacked by a group of unidentified individuals. Although he narrowly escaped, he suffered a heavy blow to his left head and tore his eardrum. He returned to the hotel with pain. The next morning, he told his girlfriend on the phone that he suspected the attackers were hired thugs by the Bavarian group. His girlfriend advised him to see a doctor, but he thought it was just an eardrum problem and maybe it could heal on its own. Strangely, that night, he went out to party with his friends again, as if nothing had happened. It wasn't until July 7th, when the holiday was over and his friends were returning home, that Lars realized the unbearable pain in his ear. The doctor diagnosed a ruptured eardrum and strictly prohibited flying. Helpless, his friends boarded the plane back to their home country, leaving Lars alone to seek medical treatment in a foreign land. This is the beginning of the truly terrifying moment. On the evening of July 7th, Lars experienced a series of unfortunate events at Santa Ana Hospital. Due to a language barrier, the doctor not only did not admit him to the hospital, but also coldly drove him away. I went to the pharmacy to buy medicine, but the first one was out of stock. Finally, the taxi driver pulled him to a cheap hotel located in the slums, the Kohler Hotel. This hotel has a complex environment, with idle people wandering around nearby. Although Lars was uneasy, he still checked in. At 11 p.m., he made a phone call to his mother, Sandra. In this phone call, Lars, who had always reported good news but not bad, finally collapsed. He spoke incoherently, saying that something was wrong with the hotel. The front desk copied his credit card, causing him extreme panic. He even demanded that his mother immediately cancel his card. Subsequently, fear erupted exponentially on him. At midnight, he called his mother again with a very low voice, as if whispering. He said the room was under surveillance, and someone was recording his every move. At 2:30 in the morning, his voice was already filled with despair. "There are 4 men tracking me. They want to kill me." Mother Sandra was anxious on the phone, but could only comfort her son helplessly from hundreds of kilometers away. She helped Lars book a flight for the next afternoon, and made sure he went to the airport clinic for a checkup. On the morning of July 8th, Lars arrived at Varna Airport. At this moment, there was already something wrong with him in the eyes of others. The taxi driver recalled that his pupils were dilated severely, and his overall condition was extremely poor. He met a mysterious man at the airport, who helped him with Western Union remittance. Later, at the clinic, the doctor prescribed him eardrops and signed a flight disclaimer. After signing to confirm that he could fly, Lars whispered to the doctor to go to the restroom. The surveillance footage shows that around 10 a.m., Lars suddenly rushed out of the clinic. He threw away all his luggage, and in that moment, he seemed to see something that ordinary people couldn't see. He ran out of the terminal building, climbed over the fence, and rushed into the dense sunflower field next to the highway. From then on, the world evaporated. The most terrifying aspect of this case is the inexplicable contradictions. The surveillance footage released by the police shows that there were no pursuers around Lars while he was running. He was the only one running for his life in terror at the empty airport. This raises doubts about whether he has fallen into a serious drug-induced hallucination or mental breakdown. Experts have analyzed that the antibiotic cefuroxime taken by Lars may cause mental side effects in rare cases. Coupled with his previous alcohol consumption, head injury, and the immense pressure of taking care of his father for a long time, which may have led to his sudden and transient mental illness. The question he asked his mother in a text message about what is Wufisol 500 was actually a misspelling of the drug name, which hinted at his confusion at the time. However, Lars' mother Sandra does not agree with this statement. She pointed out that the surveillance footage shown to the family by the police was different from the version later released to the public. Sandra claimed that she saw in the initial footage that Lars had cautiously avoided 2 police cars outside the airport. He hid behind the bus and sandbank. His movements were covert and planned, as if he was evading a specific arrest rather than fleeing aimlessly. If this statement is true, then Lars' fear is by no means groundless. Even more bizarre is the testimony of Dr. Castell at the airport. The doctor's statement about whether there was a third person in the examination room was contradictory during several inquiries. One moment he said a uniformed worker had entered and scared Lars. Another moment he said it was an ordinary worker. And finally he said he couldn't remember. And the person he identified as the intruder was later confirmed to not have been in Bulgaria that day. Is the doctor lying, or is he hiding something? We have no way of knowing the truth behind the surveillance blind spots. 12 years have passed, and there are still different opinions about Lars' whereabouts. Some say it's caused by drug trafficking groups, while others say it's due to a mental breakdown and wandering into the wilderness. Although there have been multiple eyewitness reports claiming to have seen him in Europe or even Canada, none have been confirmed. That German youth who loves football and is filial to his parents left himself in that golden sunflower field, leaving the world with an unsolved mystery. The most heartbreaking part of this tragedy is that Lars, who had a strong sense of responsibility, took on all the pressure alone and ultimately collapsed in the loneliness and illness of a foreign land. Whether he encountered an unspeakable conspiracy or unfortunately fell into a mental illusion. This is a sad story about a guardian who has no one to protect him. According to the principles of international law, when a citizen of a country encounters a threat to their personal safety or goes missing abroad, they have the right to seek consular protection from their embassy or consulate abroad. The embassy or consulate has the obligation to provide assistance and urge local police to investigate. If you like this episode, please like and follow my channel to leave your thoughts. Thank you. See you next time.